Hi there, gorgeous. Happy Frugal Friday to you. This video is late, so I trust that you've had a wonderful day, and I hope that you will have a wonderful weekend ahead. I'm reviewing some products for you today that I've been testing out lately. These are some rather new ones from the drugstore that I've never tried before, and I did a few wear tests with these, so I'll be showing you everything up close and giving you my full thoughts. By the way, on my eyes today, number 7's Emerald Stones palette. This shade right here, that light green, that is all I am wearing, and it is fabulous. First product I want to share with you comes from Wet n Wild, and this is their Tinted Hydrator. This is basically a tinted moisturizer. I mean, it says tinted skin veil here, but that's essentially what it is. It contains hyaluronic acid, squalene, it is oil-free, it gives you beautiful even coverage on the skin. The formula is a little bit runny, but hey, it blends in great nonetheless. It's not as sheer as what you might expect for it to be, given the name of the product. I was expecting something a little bit lighter, but it's not medium coverage. It's just a little more dense than, say, a sheer coverage tinted moisturizer that I'm accustomed to. But anyway, it looked great on the skin. It looked very natural. I didn't feel like it was sitting on top of the skin, and the end results were beautiful. Now, how did this one wear throughout the day? I'm going to be showing you this for all the products I'm sharing with you in this video. This one actually looked okay. After 8 hours of wearing it on the day that I tested it, this is the up close look at it. It was oily looking, and it did feel a little greasy when I would touch my face, but it didn't move. It didn't transfer. There were no patches on my skin, and everything remained intact. And so from that aspect, I was pretty happy with it, because when we're talking about oil and shine breakthrough, I mean, I have oily skin, so it's hard to find products that will go all day without a primer. They do exist, but it's hard. So I did test this one out separately on a day with the Bare Minerals primer that I love so much, and it's the original primer from their line, and it did help it to wear longer in terms of shine breakthrough. I did not experience that intense shine breakthrough the first time that I had tested it, but once again, it did not move around the face. Everything remained intact, and it still looked just as good at the beginning of the day, at the end of the day with that primer added. So overall, I was pretty happy with this product, and it is one that I would recommend checking out. If you're oily, keep in mind you may have to wear a primer with it, which is not a big deal, but beautiful, excellent product. Very happy with this one. Now, the next one I have to share with you is the Maybelline Fit Me Tinted Moisturizer. They claim that this will give you a natural look. It has a fresh feel, buildable coverage, and it gives your skin 12 hours of hydration. It did look dewy on the skin, and you'll probably be able to detect that here in the up-close example of the application. It didn't feel greasy. My skin did feel moisturized after having applied it, and it was a sheer wash of color on the skin that I felt like looked very natural and didn't look like I was really wearing makeup. On the day that I tested this one out, I wore it for 9 hours. The shine breakthrough with it wasn't as intense as some other products I have tried. It was dewy, but it was manageable. What really surprised me and threw me off about this one was how uneven my skin looked at the end of the day. It had patches showing through where the tinted moisturizer had rubbed off completely. There was a lot of movement with this tinted moisturizer, and I was not happy to see that. So again, like I had done with the Wet n Wild Hydrator, I went back and tested it with the Bare Minerals primer that I had used with the Wet n Wild one, and while it did help to decrease the shine breakthrough on my face at the end of the day, it did nothing to prevent any of the movement on my skin. And once again, I had more of those uneven patches showing through. So unfortunately, while it looked really good on the initial application on me, it didn't wear well, and 2 days in a row, it completely disappeared from my face. So this is not a favorite. It's not one that I will more than likely use again. And I've tried it with other primers since using the Bare Minerals one that I showed you there in the example. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. You can try it with setting spray too. It doesn't matter. This stuff moves. It does not stay put, unfortunately. I'm really sad to tell you that, which is really surprising for Maybelline, because I've always had a lot of success with their products, but this one, not so much. Another one that I tried recently is from L'Oreal, and that is their Skin Paradise. Now, this one is a water-infused tinted moisturizer. It does contain SPF of 19, and also aloe vera and witch hazel is in the formula. Now, this is a luminous coverage. It's again another hydrating tinted moisturizer, and you can feel that when you apply it. It has a light amount of coverage to it, and the end results are flawless. It really does help to even out any imperfections that you have in the skin and truly looks like your skin after the application. And I absolutely loved how this one looked. And after wearing this one for 8 hours all day, it was manageable. I had a little bit of dewiness on the skin, but I didn't have this intense shine breakthrough. But once again, like with the Maybelline Fit Me tinted moisturizer, I had a lot of those patches on my face, and you could see in certain areas where the tinted moisturizer had just rubbed off completely and wasn't even there anymore. Unlike the Maybelline Fit Me tinted moisturizer, setting spray does help this one last a little bit longer, and you will notice less of that transferring and less of those patches breaking through. Primer did not really help it, so I don't think primer would be the best thing. I mean, you could use it to help with the shine breakthrough, but setting spray really does help to keep those uneven patches from happening due to the transfer of the makeup. So highly recommend that if you do try out that tinted moisturizer and you have an oily complexion where things tend to move around a lot. I feel you. I also have been trying out this new primer from Wet n Wild. Have you seen this thing? It's called Impossible, and it's a silicone-free primer. This is what they say about it on the bottle. It mattifies, it hydrates, it blurs pores, and it preps skin for long-lasting makeup. So I'm going to tell you about all of those qualities and whether or not they are accurate. Quality number one, it mattifies. That it absolutely does. You can see it right when you apply it on your skin. It starts to mattify the skin instantly. And when you apply the foundation over the top of it, again, you do see that mattification happening. It hydrates. Yes, you can feel how hydrating the formula is when you apply it. It feels like a moisturizer and a primer in one. Blurs pores. No. No, no, no. Do these companies even test out these products? I mean, honestly, I'm going to show you up close my pores. You know my pores are big. They are. And you can see very clearly here, it does not blur your pores. It does nothing for them. Prep skin for long-lasting makeup. Now, it does help to extend the wear time of makeup. So I tested it out on a day with the e.l.f. Flawless Satin Foundation, this one right here, and I applied the primer on one half of my face, and then I applied nothing but the foundation on the other half of my face. And at the end of the day, I could tell a difference between the two sides. I'm hoping it'll come across on camera, but the one side with just the foundation was noticeably shinier than the side with the primer that had been added. I mean, I still had a little bit of dewy breakthrough on the primer side, but when I touched it, it didn't feel greasy. It felt matte. So it was much different in comparison to the other side. So I personally really like this one. And if you have struggled with primers in the past because of a silicone problem, then I think that you would really enjoy this one, and it is one worth checking out. And for the most part, with all the foundations I haven't experienced pilling issues. I know sometimes that can be an issue. I haven't noticed that with this one. So to me, it appears to be pretty universal at this point, but if I ever have a problem with it, I will absolutely let you know. The last product I tried out is another one from Wet n Wild, and this is their Mega Last Incognito All Day Full Coverage Concealer. So I only applied 2 drops of this. It's a very rich pigmented concealer, so you don't need much. The coverage level that you get with it is beautiful. It does a great job of concealing my purple under eye circles, and it doesn't look cakey. It looks flawless after the initial application. I don't know if I have footage of this at the end of the day because I think I forgot to record it. But at the end of the day, unfortunately, this one creased and it looked pretty miserable underneath my eyes. It just looked like it was having a really bad day under my eyes. I am not a fan. You saw how much I applied. It wasn't that much. There's no reason that it should have creased as badly as what it did, but it did. So unfortunately, this is not one that I personally like and not one that I would recommend trying. At least not if you have oily skin. I feel like if you have dry skin, then you might like it a little more. sometimes that's the case. I know a lot of people who have dry skin that look at my recommendations and they say, if you don't like it for oily skin, then I'll try it. So from that aspect, if you have dry skin, you might actually like it. So if you've tried any of these products out for yourself, would love to hear your thoughts and experiences with them also. We are all different, and it's always good to hear someone else's experience and thoughts, especially when you have a different complexion, skin tone, etc. So feel free to share what you are, what you would describe yourself as, dry, combination, normal, oily, etc., and what you felt like happened with your skin with these products. That's why there's so much makeup out there, is because you just never know how it's going to react on you, how it's going to react on someone else. And so I like to be able to provide my opinion, because I know it does help some people either save some money or find a product that really works for them. So if I can help you, hey, I'm all for that. But if you're interested in any of the products I shared with you here today, I will have them listed and linked for you below. Hey, have a wonderful July 4th weekend. We are going to take the kids for the first time to see fireworks. Pray for me. I don't know what possessed me to think that this is a good idea. I may regret this, but at any rate, I hope that you have a good one. Enjoy the time, and I just thank you so much for being here, for taking the time to watch. I look forward to seeing you again next week. I may not have a video on Monday. It may be more like Tuesday, Wednesday, but I will see you next week.